Editing is both. Uh, um, how you say that? Editing is both. I don't know how you say that, like creative work, but it's also very technical, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes, whether depending on what you're doing, it takes more creative than technical. Like a lot of times, let's say for example, you're editing something that you don't have a script, so you have to build a script with the editing. That will take in place a lot of creative juice, like a lot of creative work, right?
But there's also a lot of technical you have to put into it, because if you don't organize, you can't, like for me, right? Like for me,
it's crazy. You will first want to see what you have, so that's like the technical aspect of it. So you see what you have, you organize it. All right, so once you see the big picture, you're like, okay, now let's put the creative aspect, this and here. Okay, then you go back to the technical when you start cutting, and then so on forth. So that's what's happening to me with the zombie show, and it's something very peculiar, right? So I know it's a creative process, so I'm treating it like, because it's all disorganized, so I'm treating it like I'm writing something. I'm writing a script, a novel, whatever. So I'm treating it that way. So I need to put my process, my timing, everything according to it. Sometimes I'm breaking it down, I organize it, and the next day I'm pooping or anything else that I'm doing, and I was like, oh, this is how I'm gonna do this. So I get real quick, and then I even like write down my notes on how I'm gonna edit it to get the script going, the script flowing, right? So so what's the problem with this is that since it's a creative work and it goes like into writing something else, and it is time. Let's say I have the podcast, for example, that I have to edit. Bro, my brain, like since I'm working like on this specific thing, and I know how much time I need it, I need it so much how much time I need in it, I won't be able to edit the other one. So my brain tells me, the zombie show, focus on the on the podcast, and then you won't be able to do anything else. And it doesn't let me work. Like I'll be sitting in the computer and I was like, I can't work. I can't. It's blocking me out completely. And then you start procrastinating, thinking that it's gonna help you, right? Like so you start watching TV, playing video games, and then what happens in the end, after almost 2 weeks of just procrastination, you turn off the project, you open up the other project or whatever else you need to do and finish first. You finish it and then you move into the other one. And that's my life. That's my life.
I guess so. For you, it's like you have to finish what you start.
Yes.
You know what's funny is I think that's everybody, and I think there's people that like, for example, I think I have myself convinced that I don't, but I think that thing is a plague, bro. Like not finishing what you start is like a very big plague, because what happens is you end up with a bunch of undone things, and then you don't have it.
Exactly. That's the first time you told me that we were gonna do this, and you told me let's do a bunch of episodes and then we'll start editing. I was scared because like, oh my god, I want to turn into this. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely around that time, um, it was it was a little bit like I didn't have my workstation set up. So for me, like I need, if I like, now that I have the workstation set up, like it's like I can do that. I can, have it built in a can, whatever. And but I think growing up and maturing, having kids, it's really taught me the importance of like, oh, you really do have to finish what you
Finish everything.
really
Bro, that's what I tell my wife.
Yeah, because if you don't, you're just like, bro, like as from experience for me, like I think it's a plague, and I think for a while I had it. And don't get me wrong, I'm still working through it, and I still got
no, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Look, for example, Necromall, that's the name of the show, right? The zombie show. I shot that before Ella was born. So I shot that in 2019, right? No, actually, my bad. 2000. I finished shooting in 2019. Ella was born in August. I did it. All right. I told myself I just need to finish it, recording it before I can start editing. So it was like almost a year of us recording episodes, and we never finished it. I never edited once. But I always said I need to finish recording this. I need to finish all the episodes for me to shoot this. What happened?
You didn't even organize though, like along the way.
I did, but it was lost in translation. It was like a long time ago. You forget. So we recorded. So my girl was born. That took like 6 months for me. I had to get a job that took another 6 months, like another job besides what I was doing. The pandemic struck, that took a whole year. So it took me a while to get back in it. So you see me last year since I started on it. And that's when I told myself, like, already we took it. So I was like, I need to finish this. And then my wife constantly says, like, why? Why do you need to finish it? You're not going to do anything with it. I'm like, first, you don't know that. Second, I need to finish it because it's content. It's content that I'm going to have. It's going to have my name and everybody who has credit on it. And it's going to be a fully finished work. It's probably crap for you, but it's finished work, And, that's what I'm doing it. Like, I'm almost done with it. I'm halfway in the pool.
Well, I think you don't never know. Like, I think for everybody else, it's just tough to understand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just you're talking in another language. You know what to other people, and I think that I've just born to accept it and not like expect that they're going to understand. But I'm just letting them know, no, this is what I have to do, right? But I think it's extremely important to implement that, right? Like to implement
Yeah,
like
no,
the
you do.
finishing it because I feel like it's kind of stops you from getting ahead. Like which is kind of what you're saying in your case, like your brain, how your brain works is that it just doesn't let you move on to the next thing until this is done, right? And for me,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Like I even notice it when I clean, right? Like when I'm cleaning the house, like I can't like I clean in areas. So it's like I'll do like I have to before I do the floors, I have to organize everything else because if there's any dirt that falls on the floor, I don't want to have to like do that again. So I have to first organize and then I have to first after that then I have to wipe counters and everything because if there's any dirt on the counters, I'd rather them fall on the floor on a dirty floor than on a clean
Yeah.
floor. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like it's a process to it. And I think through life you find that process, you find that balance. But it's just interesting that it takes a while, bro. It just takes a while to find that structure. For some people, it comes easier. For some people, it doesn't. And I think we're very similar in that regard. I don't know if it's a Latin thing or not. I feel like maybe other cultures seems like they can just compartmentalize a lot better. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times these issues, this kind of issues, is culture. It's true. Like
yeah,
I
I,
think
I
it's
mean,
very
it's all
normal.
it's cultures. I think it's culture. I think it's like it's a lot of different things, right? But I think with us, I think with Latin people, I see that sometimes that it's we can be a little scattered. Some of us can be a little scattered. I mean, I've seen even the ones of us that are not scattered are still scattered. If that makes any sense. Even the ones
Yeah,
that I've met that are like very sort of like almost arithmetic. They're very logical and to the point. They still have a lot of different things going on. It's like our food. It looks like our food. I've always
yeah,
compared that to it. It's like our food. If you look at a place of like Latin food, it's just like arroz con pollo, and it just looks like crazy. It's like
yeah,
there's no. It's not like an Asian, like a Japanese dish where it's like you can like it looks pretty,
yeah.
aesthetically.